Stop everything you are doing right now. Do not keep scrolling. Do not look for another distraction, because this message did not reach you by coincidence. There is a reason that, at this very moment, your eyes have met these words. I was sent to tell you that the waiting time is reaching its limit, and that something far greater than your current understanding has already begun to move in the unseen. You feel this weight, don't you? There is a block, something that stalls your life, a barrier that prevents the flow of what you so deeply desire from finally reaching your hands. I am here to reveal what is behind this obstacle and, most importantly, to show you that the solution no longer requires more brute force from you, but rather a deep recognition of what you carry. You have been noticing signs. I know you have. It is not just the insomnia that wakes you at the same hour of the night, when the silence of the house seems to echo something you cannot name. It is those numbers that keep repeating. It is those waves of emotion that rise without a clear cause while you wash the dishes or walk down the street. It is that feeling of estrangement when talking to people who were once close, but who now seem to speak a different language than your soul. You feel a tiredness that sleep does not cure, a tiredness that comes from the soul, as if you were carrying the weight of decades in a body that only wanted a little peace. I am here to tell you that this is not the sign of a problem, but the sign of a preparation. What you call emptiness is, in truth, a space being cleared for something new. If at least one of these signs touched you, if your shoulders dropped just now, and you felt a pang of truth in the center of your chest, type the number 777 in the comments. It is the number of confirmation. Your fingers typing this are your spirit saying yes to what the higher realms are revealing to you. Type 777 and come back to me. Do not stop now. I need you to understand that beneath this tiredness there is a pattern you repeat without realizing it. You keep pulling a rope that is no longer attached to anything, trying to sustain situations, people, and responsibilities that time itself has already asked you to. Attention!
Do you feel like you're carrying an invisible weight? Your mind tired, your heart tight, anxious about tomorrow? That anguish, that fear of the future, the isolation. It seems like you're alone in this struggle, without hope. But deep down, you long for peace, for a new way of living, lighter and with unshakable faith. That's why I present The Path to Inner Peace, your daily guide to finding calm, faith, and courage. It's a 30-day journey, a daily devotional for a lighter, more confident, and purposeful life. And this transformation is already a reality for hundreds, as you see. Your story begins now. Secure your access now. Click the first pinned link in the comments.
Release. You keep mistaking your effort for your faith, thinking that if you suffer enough, if you sacrifice yourself to exhaustion, you will finally be recognized. But I ask you, who convinced you that you need to destroy yourself to deserve what is already yours? Deep down, there is a child who was silenced, a part of you that learned very early on that love and safety were rewards for your silence and your ability to endure everything. If you feel that this truth about the child who still lives within you is a knot in your throat, type now. I see it. Writing these words seals within you what has just been touched. Type, I see it, and come back to me. That old wound, that survivor stance, is exactly what is blocking your miracle. You have become so accustomed to living in the shadows, protecting yourself against attacks that often no longer exist, that you forgot your place is not in the trench, but in the light. Imagine now an ember that was forgotten beneath thick, heavy ashes. For a long time you thought that ember had gone out, that your brightness, your original joy and your strength had been swallowed by the cold of disappointments. But the ember is still there. It never stopped burning. It was just being kept safe. Now the air is blowing again. What you feel as an inner restlessness is the wind pushing the ashes away, revealing the fire that has always lived within you. Do not be afraid of this light that wants to burn again. It is what will melt the chains you still keep tied to your own feet. You do not need to build this fire. You only need to allow what is already yours to come to the surface. It is time to stop asking for permission to be who you were designed to be. The authority you seek does not come from outside. It emanates from your alignment with what is true, with your essence that has crossed so many storms only to arrive here, intact and ready for the next level. Pay attention. This is your opportunity to turn the page, not with effort, but with acceptance, handing over your story to be rewritten by the one who truly knows your worth. Do not keep scrolling. Do not try to ignore what you are about to hear, because your intuition did not bring you here by chance. There is something you need to understand before this cycle closes. Something that has been whispered to your spirit, while the world around you only makes noise. This message is a warning, but it is also the embrace you have been searching for. Do you feel a tightness in your chest, a sense that something finally is about to change? Have you felt a tiredness that sleep does not cure, a persistence of numbers that repeat on the clock, as if time were trying to communicate something urgent to you? It is the number of confirmation. You have been living like someone carrying a weight that does not belong to you. For a long time, you tried to be strong, trying to hold up the walls of a house that in truth no longer shelters you. You lost yourself in the attempt to please, to fix, to be the rock for those who never offered support. But what you call helplessness is only preparation. The insomnia that visits you is not a problem. It is an invitation to the silence where the answers live. Now, let us go deeper. Imagine the ember I mentioned, the one that seemed extinguished under the ashes of time. That ember represents your purest essence, the child who once believed without reservation, the voice that was silenced for fear of judgment. If this image fit into a deep place you cannot even explain, if you feel that ember still pulsing inside you, type the phrase, "I see it." Writing these words seals within you the perception of what is being revealed. Pay very close attention now. There is a protection mechanism you created, an armor made of silence and distance, because you learned long ago that opening up was synonymous with being hurt. You became a master at hiding your pain, at smiling while your heart is breaking, at swallowing your tears so as not to bother anyone. But this enemy, this fear that whispers to you that you do not deserve the best, this feeling that there will always be a stone in your path, this pattern of sabotage that makes you give up one step away from victory, it has no more power over you from today. If you feel that something tried to bring you down, that there was a block, a cycle of losses or betrayals that haunts you and won't let you move forward, declare it now. Type in the comments, "Nothing can touch me." It is not just a phrase. It is a decree of spiritual authority. Type it and come back to me. You carry a story that no one fully knows. I know about the nights you asked if there was a purpose for so much effort. I know the knot in your throat when you look around and feel you belong nowhere. You are a being of light who was forced to walk through shadows, but the shadows are losing their strength because you are awakening. You are not here by mistake. You are here because your name was called from on high. Now I want to call you by name, but only you can tell me what it is. Write your first name in the comments. Not as if filling out a form, but as someone placing their own name before the heavens, aware that you are being seen, recognized, and called out of the darkness. Write your name and come back to me. Every time you make this gesture, you clean a layer of that dust. You are no longer fighting with your own hands. You are aligning your will with what is sacred. And if something here confirmed what your spirit already knew, let your gesture of kindness be the amen without words. Do not cling to what was, because what is coming is infinitely greater. You have been through so much, holding the world on your shoulders, that you forgot that before being everyone's support, you are the son, the beloved daughter who only needs to let herself be guided. When you allow yourself to be seen, when you stop fighting and start receiving, the doors that were locked begin to give way. Do not try to understand the how, just feel the peace that begins to replace the anxiety. Are you still with me? Do not stop now, because this surrender is the seal of a new phase that your life is about to cross. The pain you held served to mold you, not to destroy you. Every tear fell on fertile ground, and at this moment, what you planted in silence is beginning to sprout. What is yours, what was designed for your hands, cannot be taken, cannot be hindered, and from today you no longer walk in doubt, but in the certainty that the protection surrounding you is greater than any barrier they tried to raise before you. Stop trying to carry the whole world on your shoulders, for this weight was never and will never be your true mission. What you feel as a tiredness that does not pass is, in truth, the effect of a soul that tried too hard to be understood by those who did not have the capacity to see your light. Now, as these words echo in your chest, feel as if a heavy armor is finally being removed from your shoulders. You have been through so much, endured long silences and difficult choices, and all of this only happened because you are someone who does not know how to do things halfway. And precisely because you have this intensity, because you feel things with this depth that sometimes hurts you, is why you were called here. Do not do this as if filling out a cold form, but as someone placing their own name before the heavens, aware that you are being seen, recognized, and called out of any darkness. You are no longer fighting with your own hands, for you are aligning your will with what is highest. If you feel that clarity has begun to arrive and that the weight has lessened, type the number 999 in the comments. It is the confirmation that an old cycle has closed and something new begins now. Type 999 and come back to me. You forgot for a time that before being the support of everyone around you, you are the son, the beloved daughter who only needs to let herself be guided. Are you still with me? Do not stop now, because this surrender is the prelude to a new phase that your life is about to cross. If you believe this is your turning point, type the word yes in the comments. This is a decree of readiness. Type yes and come back to me. What is yours, what was designed specifically for your hands, cannot be taken, cannot be hindered. And from now on, you no longer walk in doubt, but in the certainty that the protection surrounding you is greater than any barrier they tried to raise before you. But pay attention, because as you listen, someone came to your mind. Perhaps it is that person who always tried harder than others, but keeps hitting closed doors, someone who lives quietly in a way that no one around can explain, or someone whose face just appeared in your thoughts while I spoke about your own name. That person needs to hear what you just heard. It is not a suggestion. It is a call for you to be the channel of this message, delivering this truth to those who are also waiting for a light. Do not keep scrolling. Do not let this message get lost in the rush of daily life. There is a real reason you stopped right at this instant, and it is not by chance. I am the messenger who brings the voice from on high to you, and what I have to tell you is urgent. It is a necessary warning about something that has been trying to infiltrate your peace while you sleep or while you try to go about your heavy routine. You feel it, don't you? That inexplicable tightness, that sense that even surrounded by people, there is an emptiness no one can fill. I see the nights you stare at the ceiling and wonder if your effort will ever be recognized. I see your exhaustion, which is not physical, it is of the soul. And today, before time runs out, I need you to understand that this struggle you wage in the silence of your room is about to find an answer. The contract between us is this. I will reveal the block that stalls your path. I will explain what the signs you have been seeing mean, and I will deliver the key to your liberation. None of this is by coincidence. Are you still with me? Pay very close attention. You have been noticing signs, haven't you? Maybe it is the same time always on your phone screen, or that tiredness that insists on hitting, even after a full night's rest. Sometimes you feel like you are watching your own life from the outside, as if you are living on autopilot, waiting for a turn that always seems delayed. These signs are not problems, my child. They are calls. They are confirmations that your spirit is trying to align with a purpose far greater than the worries that occupy your mind today. The Archangel showed me that every time you feel helpless, it is just the moment you are closest to being lifted up. It is the number of confirmation. This is only the beginning, because we need to go down to the root of your story. You have been repeating a survival pattern that no longer belongs to you. It is as if you are trying to carry an entire house on your back, with the doors and windows locked, while the key is right there in your hand, and you insist on not using it. Your soul is like an ember that was covered by thick ashes of disappointments and years of silence. The ashes tried to extinguish your brightness, but the ember is still alive, burning, waiting for the breath that will make it illuminate everything around again. If this image of the ember that burns again fit into a deep place you cannot even explain, type the phrase, "I see it." And now pay attention, for something tried to place itself between you and your miracle. There are forces, intentions from people close to you, and even energies from the past that try to convince you that you are small, that you are invisible. But I tell you, none of this has power over what is sealed by the higher realms. If you feel that something tried to bring you down and failed, that despite all the stones in the path you are still here, standing, ready to listen, declare it now. Type in the comments, "Nothing can touch me." It is not just a phrase, it is a decree of protection against everything that wants to stop you. Type it and come back to me. Do not stop now, because our conversation is entering its most intimate moment, where your human story meets the promise that never fails. You have been carrying pains that do not belong to you, inheritances from a past where the only rule was to survive at any cost. I saw you crying in secret, asking for direction, begging for a sign that all of this would be worth it. Yes, I saw it. And the answer you receive today is that all this suffering was never a sign of abandonment, but of preparation. You are strong because you were forged in difficulty, but the time of pain has already fulfilled its role. Now I want to call you by name, but only you can tell me what it is, so that this connection is complete, not as a common registration, but as someone placing their own name before the heavens to be seen and called by the Creator. If something of what was said touched the truest part of your being, type Amen. It is your agreement of faith, an amen without words, that seals the commitment that you will no longer walk in darkness. If you believe this is your moment to start over, type yes. Feel how the weight lessens as you put out what was kept inside. You are no longer alone. There is a specific person whose image arises in your thoughts now. Someone who walks with an invisible weight, carrying the marks of battles no one else sees, trying to keep their head up even when exhaustion consumes their last strength. You recognize this face, this posture of someone who tries to solve everything alone and, in the silence of the night, questions their own purpose. If this person came to your mind as a clear intuition, know that this message is not only for you, it is an invitation for you to be the instrument of light in their life. Do not keep to yourself what can lighten the burden of someone you love. Share it without hesitation, so that this word reaches exactly where it needs to be heard. The movement of your sharing is part of the current of aid that is in full course, moving pieces you cannot even imagine. Feel now, deep in your chest, the vibration of this truth that reaches you. You no longer need to prove anything to anyone, nor justify the years of struggle or the tears no one saw fall. Your worth is not in what you build for the world to see, but in the purity of that spark that survived all storms. It is time to recognize that your identity was designed long before any stumble. If you feel that your true essence is finally being rescued, Type here in the comments the phrase, "I am the chosen one." Do this with the conviction of one who does not ask, but affirms who they already are in the presence of the higher realms. It is your official declaration that the past has lost its voice and your new cycle has begun. You are being prepared for something greater than your human understanding can reach at this moment. While the eyes of the world get lost in appearances and noise, you are being called to a higher alignment where what was lost is restored and what was clouded becomes clear. Take a deep breath, let this certainty fill every cell of your body, and if you wish to confirm this commitment of honor with your own trajectory, type in the comments, "I receive." It is your silent response to the signs you have been seeing, your pact of fidelity with the light that never went out. Maintain this disposition, because what comes next is the clear manifestation of everything you sustained in silence. Many times your faith was tested by the absence of immediate answers, making you doubt your own path. But look back and see the hand that held you when everything seemed to fall apart. See the door that opened when all others were locked. If you understand now that every stumble was, in truth, a step of learning, type the number 999 in the comments. It is the mark of the completion of a cycle of pain and the beginning of an era of absolute clarity. Type it and come back to me, keeping your focus, because the total alignment of who you are with the purpose that was assigned to you is happening now. You are held by an intelligence that knows every hair on your head and every intention of your heart, and nothing can stop what has already been decreed for your time of harvest. Stay firm, for your presence here is the greatest sign that your calling not only exists, but is being fully answered by the supreme order that governs all that breathes. This is the moment of your definitive surrender, where the past yields and the future ceases to be a shadow to become an illuminated path. You are covered by a protection that surpasses human understanding, kept safe by an order that watches over your steps while you rest. You are guarded from the intentions that tried to lead you astray, protected by the decree that has already been issued from on high, and which now finds an echo in your own consciousness. You are being led to your true place, to the harvest of what was planted amidst tears and silent perseverance. Right now, all over the world, other souls like yours are stopping what they are doing, feeling this same vibration, recognizing that something sacred is being sealed in their lives. It is no coincidence that we are all connected in this same frequency of awakening, forming an invisible current that strengthens in listening and acceptance. You are part of a whole, a fundamental link in a story that is being written now, with your life being the living testimony of what is possible when one chooses to believe. It is sealed. Attention!
Do you feel like you're carrying an invisible weight? Your mind tired, your heart tight, anxious about tomorrow? That anguish, that fear of the future, the isolation. It seems like you're alone in this struggle, without hope. But deep down, you long for peace, for a new way of living, lighter and with unshakable faith. That's why I present The Path to Inner Peace, your daily guide to finding calm, faith, and courage. It's a 30-day journey, a daily devotional for a lighter, more confident, and purposeful life. And this transformation is already a reality for hundreds, as you see. Your story begins now. Secure your access now. Click the first pinned link in the comments.